All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Angela Dryden, certified life coach, and I have a passion. We can talk about passion a little bit. I have a passion to coach ladies who are struggling with codependent behaviors, struggling in the sense that feeling like that's causing contention and stuff between your relationships with people, finding yourself choosing not to do things based on the thoughts that you're having. And so those codependent behaviors that are just kind of being pesky to you and not quite letting you detach with love and become more of a leading lady and choose those behaviors that are showing up in a way that are becoming authentically you. And so that is what I do as a life coach. I help women to be able to process their thinking patterns and the emotions that are coming up. In fact, actually, I help them with their energy. So if you know much about energy work, and I do know a little bit about that, anytime we have energy or you hear certain things or words that kind of resonate with you, that's the energy that we have. And it's not the words that are resonating with you, it's actually the thoughts that you're having about those words that mean something to you, and it's creating energy in your life. And so what I love to do is help women to be able to find behaviors that would serve them better than the ones that they're holding on to right now, that have become habit and just become part of their life out of necessity. Maybe those habits and those behaviors served them before in their life, but right now they're not serving them and they're not moving forward in their life the way that they would like. And so example would be a codependent behavior. And one that we're talking about today is obsession. And so obsession comes in the form of like anytime we are putting our energy and our focus on something outside of us. And so it's about focus and about where we're putting that energy. And a lot of times with obsession, it'll show up in other people in our lives. So sometimes a significant other that you have, it could be obsession of your children. It could be obsession about a job that you have, about a place that you work. And you can't, when you come home, you're not letting go of work and you're just still obsessing about it, which is causing a disruption in your relationship. It could be about many things. And so a lot of times obsessions show up in our lives. And as far as codependency is that attachment, right? So we're depending upon something. So we could be codependent with our job. Like that could mean so much to us that we are part of that. We could be codependent to our children. We could be codependent with a significant other. And so those codependencies that are coming up in our lives, we attach ourselves to them and they become our obsession. And they become where we're putting a lot of our energy. And when we're doing that, it's showing up in a way that, like I said, can cause disruption in other parts of your relationships in your life. And so when obsession is not serving us well, when that behavior is, keeping us from growing and just keeping us stuck. So obsession kind of is, like I said, it's usually focused on other people or other things outside of you. So you use obsession sometimes to justify the actions that you're taking. It's your excuse. You excuse yourself, like why you're doing certain things. Well, it's because of this. So anytime that you're using something outside of you to obsess with, again, that's, that. So even for a mom, like you could be using your children as the reasons why you can't do anything. And the interesting thing is that there's many options out there to perceive that. And that's one that you're using right now, which is that codependent relationship with your children. It could be showing up that way. I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying that that could be something that's coming up for you. And if you want to try to break out of that cycle, and if you want to try to break through to something else, that's where me as a coach comes in. And that's what I love to do, is help with that. If you don't want to, if you feel good about where you're at, then there's no need for me as far as your coach. And so what I love to do is help women that feel stuck. One of the big feelings with obsession that you can find is that you're using that excuse, you're using that justification over and over and over again. So you are going in circles. And so when you go in circles, you feel stuck. So that stuck feeling. So if you ever have that stuck feeling, there might be some obsession that's happening behind the scenes. And so trying to get to the root of it, right? Getting to the cause of it. A lot of times, right, we put a Band-Aid on something and be like, okay, that's gonna make it better. But you can't put a Band-Aid on something that's gushing out. You might need stitches in there and the Band-Aid's not gonna do it. So instead of just putting the Band-Aid on, we want to find out what's the root cause of it, what's kind of going on. And I'm just offering that maybe obsession might be a cause of it. So in a codependent relationship, obsession is just that focus on something outside of you. So this is focus outside of you. And I'm writing focus here because when it comes to passion, that's also focus. But that's a focus that's more internally put in. So when you live your life with passion, it is coming from within you, and that energy is a completely different energy. So obsession energy is kind of like you're waiting for the shoe to drop, right? So you're trying to justify what's going on, or you're saying that I'm never going to get anywhere, that you're just kind of stuck in that circle, that vortex. And that is when obsession might be taking hold of you. And passion is when you're shooting forward and you're actually moving and you're growing in your life. And so when you start to replace the behavior of obsession with passion, it's a completely different energy. The energy that you start to create in your life is going to feel very different. And you're going to know when you're there, because it's a feeling that is more of, there's the clean feelings and the dirty feelings. And so passion should feel clean to you. And your passion is going to be different than anybody else's, right? So everybody's going to have different passions in their life. And yours is going to be different and going to feel different than somebody else's. There's going to be similarities to it, but you're going to know when you're stuck in obsession, what that feels like, that dirtier feeling. And then when you get into passion, that cleaner feeling, you're going to know what that feels like. And passion is when you start to strategize. So you're starting to do strategy. You're starting to find, you're looking for answers. You're just moving forward. So this is more of a forward motion and a growth, right? So growth is happening here for you. And that is more of that motion as versus the stuck around the hamster wheel, the vortex. So this is the growth. This is the moving forward feeling of it, passion. And passion, when you're living with passion, you feel like you start to get purpose. So a lot of times kind of purpose and passion, for some reason I'm losing my thought here, but that's okay. So purpose. So passion and purpose is kind of interchangeable. A lot of times you'll hear passion and purpose together, right? And so when that starts to happen, you start again moving forward. And this is magnifying on you. And actually, I would even say that it's magnifying just more on the root of who you are, not the label of who you are. So I want to offer the distinctions of that. Like I said, my passion is to help, codependent ladies who are struggling, that want to break out of those cycles, that want to start living and growing and moving forward in their relationships, because they know by doing that and investing in themselves and becoming more of that person that they can be, that it will ripple out into the world and enhance everything that they do. And so when you start to go from that angle, you're moving forward and you're becoming more. And so like I said, my passion is to help women, which is my passion, something I want to do, and I help women, but I don't ever attach to their gain or not gain, right? So whatever they get from my coaching with them is all on them and what they're doing and what they're bringing to the table and how they want to show up. And so when you start to understand that, which is called, that detaching with love, that I love all my clients, but I detach from the results that they get, because their results they get is based on them and what they're bringing to the table and how they're growing for themselves, as opposed to the obsession, right? The excusing, the justify that I can't do anything because this is the problem. And so again, these are two completely different energies that are coming. And like I was talking about with passion, is it's not the label. It's not because you're a mother, because you're, you know, whatever job or career you hold. That's not who you are. You are you because of the way that you see the world, which in return shows in the passion you have that can overcome any obstacles that are in your way. Because, right, because you have passion and purpose, so you strategize, you find answers, and you're wanting to grow. You're in that growth process. So clients that I'm working with are wanting this, and they feel like they're getting a little bit of it, like they're getting bits and pieces here and there, but they keep on falling back into old behaviors, and they're just not maybe getting to the root of what's going on. And because of that, they're falling back and falling short, right? So until we kind of get to the root of what's happening, it's hard to break the cycle, break the behavior. And so that is what I do, is I help clients try to find that for themselves. What keeps on coming up and what's stopping them, and maybe finding that that's stopping them and that they see it for themselves. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was even happening. I kind of was avoiding it maybe in a way, or just kind of ignoring it. And now I'm realizing that this keeps on coming up in my life, and I'm ready to let go of this. I'm ready to let this go and then to move on and move forward. And so when it comes to passion and purpose, that's kind of what that looks like and what that feels like. Realizing that both of these are energy. So anytime we have, right, emotions is energy, right? It's energy in motion. That is what emotions are. And so when we hear things, when we have emotions because we have a thought about that word. So maybe passion resonates with you. So passion's like, yeah, that's what I want passion. Maybe purpose resonates with you. So maybe instead of, you know, saying that you're leading, leading, creating passion, you're like, no, I'm a leading, leading, creating purpose. So maybe that resonates with you. But the goal is to transform obsession into an energy that serves you from a clean space, right? Just like cleaning out the house, right? We got the dirty house, we got the clean house. So we just kind of clean out house. And it doesn't mean that anything here is wrong. It means that these are things that we've learned from. And now that we've learned from this and we see where it's played the role in my life, I can let it go and I can move on to something else. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you gained a little bit of insight from this. One of the things I like to think about is that you receive this information, you review it, and find the pieces that resonate with you, and then you release the rest. Take care of you and have a beautiful rest of the day. We'll see you next time. Bye.